where I got stitches is not growing back. So I just have like a line in my eyebrow. And people think it's from fighting, but really I fell when I was drunk and hit my head on a table. Even more embarrassing.
We're live, and that was the first thing they heard.
I didn't know we were live.
That's what I said. I'm going straight away to live.
Oh,
And then you're like, dude, my eyebrow. I'm like,
dude, my eyebrow's not going back.
that's hilarious. So, Gina E10P here, Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club.
What's up, guys?
Joined by One Eyebrow Danny.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, so today we're running a little later than normal, but this fucking hair. My son had to use my computer for schoolwork because today was the first day of school.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And, well, we procrastinated and we're like, well, we'll look at Chromebooks and laptops. And we went to buy one like the day before school and they're all sold out. So I guess everybody had the same idea.
So, like, if kids don't have a computer at home or a laptop, how do they do school?
So the school is like lending out Chromebooks.
Mm-hmm.
So like Natalie, her school lent her out a Chromebook because she falls within like the category of needing something like that and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
They are trying to do, like they are usually doing about one per family. But if it's like a difference between middle school and high school, they might make a special exception because that's the issue with her and her brother. It's like one kid per school. And if you don't have internet, you can come sit in the school parking lot and use their free Wi-Fi.
What?
You heard me. You come to the school parking lot and use their free Wi-Fi. Which,
this is crazy.
Around here, not too big of a deal, but like I'm from Clay County and like going to my school, like where I grew up and where my sister still lives, is a 25-minute drive to the school. Like I mean, I don't know. It's this shit just like wears on me because like I was talking today, like they're giving away free meals from the schools, and like I was like, you need to go get one. Like we went and got one for Chris. Like financially speaking, we don't need the food.
Yeah.
But the program is grant based, and how grants work is if you don't use your grant, then they won't give you the money. And then when the grant is building up, like you don't have as many people obviously in the beginning. So then when the need is finally really noticed, because they didn't have the need at the beginning, they could get it taken away from them. So I'm like, get the food, even if you don't want it, like take it to a shelter, like there are hungry people out there. So we're which somebody was like, oh, that's like prison. It's like just like the prison system. It's a moneymaker. And I'm like, oh Jesus, like.
Yeah.
I can't today. I can't internet today.
No, the internet's driving me insane too. There's so much going on right now where it's kind of exhausting to. I've had to step away from talking about some subjects for sure. I mean, we have different sensitive subjects, I think. My hometown is just being one of them. And it's constantly being criticized, and people are talking about everything that's going on in Louisville because of the Breonna Taylor thing. And it's just really hard I want to respond, but then it's more exhausting to keep entertaining it. So it's really just, I've chosen to just not talk about it anymore. I'm not sure whether that's good or bad, but it's for my own mental sanity.
I think I wouldn't mind talking to some people about it face to face, so that if they stepped out of line the way they do in person, I could just pop them right in the face.
Yeah.
Like
but people are different on the internet, man. Everybody has an opinion and they want to say it how they want to say it, no matter what kind of
who it hurts.
Using. And
yeah. Yeah, and that was kind of the thing that this guy got on because he's like starts going off about like this food thing, and I'm like, man, this whole shutdown, like, legitimately, I have seen a kid who, like, he was in a routine. They were in a routine of coming to the gym, going to school, coming to the gym. Like, they weren't doing the best, but they were at least in a structured routine.
Right.
Like, you know, and they had, a sport that, like, it gave them an outlet for energy. It gave them, something to where they were held accountable. It was they kind of like, oh, I don't want to do it because I want to just do what I want to do. But at the same time, there was a community, there were male role models, there was all these things that were at least keeping them, uh, plugging
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Like, it's like if somebody's like at the line of where they could go one way or another way, like, it was like that. So then this quarantine happened, and then, things got too hard, and then they kind of quit, but also kind of got kicked out of like the gym, and like they, are just, man, I saw this kid the other day and I was like, oh my God. Like, you talk about 100-pound kid losing 10 pounds in a matter of 3 months. That's 10% of your body weight. Like,
Right.
that's a legitimate thing. Like, their face is drawn out and you're just like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah.
some people don't really realize like what a nasty effect some of this is having on at risk people.
Youth. Yeah.
Like,
Well, I mean,
it's,
I don't even know what it's done to people like adults like me or you or people that know how, we're learning how to manage ourselves, but kids don't really have those skills yet to realize like this is why I'm acting this way. I need to do
yeah,
something else.
yeah. And like, it's like that thing of like now, let's say you're raised by a grandparent and the grandparent was already kind of just doing the best they could. They're in that at risk, you know, situation. But now the same grandparent is more at risk because they're being, maybe emotionally abused by the kid that's now lost all
Right.
structure, all community. So like, it's not just one person who lost all this emotional and physical and, mental health. It's like now the pain that they're inflicting on their family is like, they're in a situation too. It's like, and then school's starting and you just know it's going to be an even bigger disaster. So, you spend your day like worrying that they're okay, but it's just, I don't know. It's like people live in some kind of different, like, it's like their reality is not what I'm looking at. And I just don't
Right.
get it.
Or people get so stuck in their own little world they don't even realize there's people besides them. Like,
Yeah.
just
Like,
because you're okay and your lifestyle and your little bubble is fine, this is not how everybody's living.
right. Well, and that's what he's like, public education is just like the worst of the worst. I'm like, well, you've always had the opportunity to buy a better one if you don't like it.
Exactly.
Like, nobody's making you go do public education. Like, if you personally
Right.
don't like it, like, buy something else. Oh, because you're privileged enough to do that. Well, a lot of
Exactly.
people aren't. So that's kind of been my internet, like, I can't, some days, like, I just can't with these people. I can't internet today.
Yeah. It's been really emotionally exhausting for me lately. Just like, I think it happens every time there's an election, also.
I'm
I
sure.
get really, really just like I can't internet because, especially this time because, I mean last time too because it was Trump still, and the opposites are so strong. I'm not a Trump supporter, but I'm not a Biden supporter either. I honestly really hate both of them, and to be in the middle, I just feel like I'm just looking beside me and like watching my parents argue, and everywhere I look, it just gets more. It's like Dumb and Dumber everywhere, and
Yeah.
I'm like, all of you are stupid. Like, there's no good argument for any of you.
I
And then
mean,
there's the child sex rings and everything else, which these are all like super important subjects, but
people
it's
get
very
crazy
hard.
about it.
It's very hard to like talk to people about this kind of shit on the internet.
Did you see what Tom DeBlas, which he's the one who made me aware of it, but I guess California made it to where if the age is like within 10 years, the judge can decide if you're a sex offender or not. Like,
That's ridiculous.
you don't automatically like go on a sex offender registry list. It's like So if you were 18 and having sex with a 14-year-old, like the judge might decide that because you guys were within 10 years of age, like you don't have to go on the sex offender registry list. And I'm like,
no, that's disgusting.
yeah, that's just like that's another one that I'm like on the internet. I'm like, I just can't internet today. Like I can't do it.
Right. Like, there's no good argument. Like, what are you going to argue against? Like,
I
obviously, the people on the other side of this are going to be fucked up. There's no. It's like when sometimes I've argued with people, like, about, like, racial shit, and I'm just like, okay, the other side of this means that you don't like people that are not white. How can I make a legitimate argument against you? With, like, there's not one. Like, you're just dumb.
Yeah.
But I just don't know how to.
I don't know. I mean, I always just try to like entertain everybody's perspective and just be like, okay, well, I can see how you got there. But there's just some things that I'm just like, how, like, legitimately, like, how did you,
Right.
how
There's
did,
certain
how did you
things.
ever come to this conclusion?
I know that it is in today's, like, America and, like, our politics, but I truly feel like things such as, like, human rights, I mean, marrying who you want to marry, like, things that affect literally no one.
Yeah.
Like, they do not affect anybody. What color your skin is. Like, those types of things should
Or
just
wild.
be normal. Like, why are we arguing about that?
We
I don't
ain't,
know.
baby.
It's just,
We ain't.
it's hard.
But anyways, I just been
Jiu-jitsu
training
news.
though.
Jiu-jitsu news. Jiu-jitsu
Yay.
news. The tournament. So, my tournament, we're doing it again, November 14th. And the bracket that you're in, actually, Gina's competing this time. I already have 5 girls in it. So,
Nice. Wow. All brown belts or is there some black belts?
I think you guys are all brown right now. One of them is a actually, I say little girl. I don't even think she's 19. She's from Henzo's up in New York or whatever. She competed against Grace and Danielle Kelly. And the match
Okay.
with Danielle Kelly ended up going into EBI overtime. It was a really good match that I watched of her. Her name was Trinity.
Yeah,
So,
I think I saw her at the one Linda did. Is she
yeah, she's
is she
good.
Asian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted to be in the bracket, so I was like, sure. I mean, you
Yeah.
compete against some good competition, so.
Right.
But yeah, I'm still trying to fill that bracket up. The bracket of blue and purple belts got immediately. I mean, I'm still deciding on the last person. I have 7 people here so far. Only 3 of them are returning girls from the last tournament. The returning ones are Samantha and Nikia, of course, and then Tori. I asked Tori to come back.
Nice.
I thought Tori had a really good. She did a really good job, and I think she could do really well.
Yeah. So you have the 3 returning. You said that it's full though. Who are some of the new faces?
So the other ones, I have Kayla Brown. She is from Florida. She started in judo, and now she's a blue belt that's been competing around a lot. And then Michelle Day from Core.
Okay.
And she won worlds at blue belt nogi, so I thought she'd be a good one. She's a purple belt now. And Paige Farley, she's from Alabama. Paige actually beat me recently.
Okay. I was like, that name sounds familiar.
Yeah, we had a match against each other recently. I would love to have a match against her again, but not in this tournament. So, she's really good. She's a purple belt, and there's a girl, Taylor Malden. I actually got a reference. A ton of people wanted me to put her in. I believe she's a Henzo girl too, and she's competed on submission on the shore and stuff. So a lot of people recommended her to me. I watched some of her stuff online and was impressed. So I thought she'd be a good pick. So I have room for one more girl, and I have like a list today. I'm going through some of their Instagrams and tapes and stuff like that, just to see who I think would be
Any hot prospects?
the best person. There's obviously some girls. I wanted to keep it to a minimum of girls that I brought back unless they won the bracket, but there's a few of them that won in. There's a lot of girls who I can't even say a lot about because I don't know them. That's why I kind of haven't made a decision yet. I need to go back through and the people that have messaged me. There's about 4 of them that I don't know at all, so I want to go and see.
Who are they? Maybe we'll recognize them.
I can't look at my phone while I'm on the. Yeah, a lot of them are not from here. They were Submission on the Shore recommended, which is on the West Coast. So
yeah,
a lot of those girls I just didn't know.
Right.
So I'll have to look into that. But yeah, I gotta pick one more, and then we got we're starting t-shirts getting made. Those look very nice. I'm really happy with how they came out. Did you see those that we posted?
Yeah, I liked it.
And
I think I did.
all the girls competing will get a rash guard.
Oh wow!
So it's pretty awesome. We have a really good some really good sponsors that are helping us. It's actually, hold on. I wish I could. I can't do this at the same time, and it's super annoying. But the rash guards may be a little bit different than the shirts.
Okay.
We might add a little bit of a flair to them, but I'm pretty excited about that.
Good.
Should be good. Because you're paying $65 to enter, and if you get a free rash guard, it's literally like you're just buying a rash guard.
Yeah, really.
I mean, so I thought that was pretty awesome that we'd be able to offer that to the girls. Your bracket will be for $1,000, and the blue and purple bracket will be for $500.
Okay. Who are some of the other ladies who are in the brown and black bracket?
Marissa from my gym, actually.
Okay.
And then Samantha Steph. Do you know her?
Yeah, she's from like South Carolina or something.
Yeah. I've heard her name several times, but
She writes a blog or something, and I see it posted in
the
Women's
yeah, I see
Grappling
it all
Network.
the time too.
She's short, but she's stocky, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know who she is.
There's Trinity. And then the other girl, I can't even look at her name right now. She's from New York because I have you up on my screen. And I can't remember her name right now off the top of my head. But I'm going to send out invoices this week. Like I said, this is tentative because nobody's paid yet. Usually I don't count anyone in until they've paid because you know how life is. You know how people do. They just disappear or whatever. So I'm going to I probably will start sending out invoices today just to start getting a better count so I can get girls in. Because as of right now, if I get everybody in and paid, then we'll know a for sure bracket and stuff by the 15th, which gives everybody a really good camp to know what they're training for.
Yeah, makes sense.
ADCC trials are the 7th of November. And Tom DeGloss is running that women's, it's not the real trials, but if you win those, you win a free trip to the trials, the West Coast trials. Because
it's a good primer for stiff competition too.
Yeah. I honestly kind of I don't think I wouldn't win or anything. I might win a couple matches or something, but I thought about going to that just to see what's up.
I mean, it's tough, like why not?
Yeah. But I don't know, if what the turnout will be that he's doing it because, I mean, some people might just say, "Forget it, we're just gonna go to the West Coast trials." I mean, because winning Tom's thing doesn't do anything for you as far as getting into, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, financially,
you're just getting your trip out there.
Financially, it doesn't do a whole lot for you. I mean, that's probably $1,000 trip that he's willing to pay for. and people are willing to fly down and pay their own way into, your tournament to win $1,000. So, and like there is no second or third place.
Hmm.
But there is like the thing of, if you were to win or place second or place third, like matches that are really entertaining, like that gets the attention of like other promotions. Like ADCC trials is not the end all. There's always like the EBI overtimes, submission on the shore. There's finishers. Like there's other
Right.
things that a good showing can get you an
So
invitation to.
submission on the shore. Actually, I'm gonna spill some tea here. So submission on the shore wrote me, and they
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do qualifiers on the West Coast for my tournament.
Okay.
I've obviously heard of them. They've had a lot of good girls compete for them. Blah blah blah. Not knocking that, but I just wasn't. I watched it and I wrote a lot of girls that have competed on submission on the shore, and I
Mm-hmm.
honestly think that my show goes a little bit better. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to watch. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think that I don't want to combine with somebody yet for something that's not going to be good for me. Like if I'm going to do something that's going to be of higher production or the equal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You also have to pay to watch Submission on the Shore, and people had complaints that you couldn't hear. They had complaints that the camera went out. They had complaints about all kinds of stuff like that. I'm trying to run like a super smooth, super efficient show. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'd like to keep it consistent, even with qualifiers, if we chose to do that, I'd want to be a little more in control. And I can't do that when I'm across the United States. So at this time, if somebody from the West Coast wants to compete for me, then I'll figure it out and we'll work it out on our own.
Yeah,
But
makes sense.
yeah, I think Submission on the Shores had great people, but I think I can get the same people or better uh, on my own.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, I just don't
But
think that that's good for. I don't think in the long run it's worth that. It's kind of like nah.
I mean, there's the thing of like capturing their audience to watch the East Coast. But if you have girls that are on your show, that's going to happen a little bit naturally.
Mhm. And the people making my rash guards are
Mm-hmm.
the same people that make the rash guards that come from 10th Planet Grants Pass, which is in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and those are some of the people that have reached out to me and told me that, they were excited about our showing. Instead, that way they would give them another outlet outside of Submission on the Shore and blah,
Right.
blah, blah. So I respect other people's opinions and who are much closer to that environment than me. So I think I'm going to get a good viewing on the West Coast, anyways.
I think so. I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, me too.
Other than that, we have September the 19th. There's a Fuji event in Bowling Green at the
Cool.
Corvette Museum.
Nice.
Another, yeah, they're putting together some super fights, but speaking with Tim, and he was saying that he feels like it's going to be very successful. Like, he already had 100 people pre-registered, and for example, if you competed in Cincinnati, like there were only basically 100 people total at that one.
Uh huh.
So he's feeling pretty confident that it's going to be a really good competition, which I'm happy about. Obviously, I'm trying to get a
Cool.
super fight on there. um, there's another girl trying to get a super fight. She's a 135 brown belt. She wants a gi match. So if there's any brown belts out there that want a gi match, you can hit up Tim Morthland. He's looking for a lady to match her up with, and I think he's actually looking for a lady to match Gina up with, Gina Gooden.
Oh, okay.
Um, so he's looking for 3 super fight matches on that event. I'm not sure the details. If you get anything, I'm not sure if it's money or whatever.
Gina Gooden might be able to do the bracket.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because you didn't mention her. Um,
Not my bracket.
oh no, I'm sure she's going to, but that was one of the things because I saw her on Saturday.
At 10th.
Um, yeah, I told her, I said, the good thing about if he were to get you a super fight is if you get your super fight, then you can go ahead and enter the competition in the brackets if you see that there's some other purple belts
Yeah.
there, and you
Right.
haven't drove all the way to Bowling Green just for for one match, because that's what that's what Tim does. He puts the super fights on an hour earlier than the event actually begins, and then you still have the opportunity to compete, which I really like.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
I'm trying to think. There's on the same day on September 19th. There's a good fight going on back in Cooksville. The thing I like about Good Fight is you can actually get on their website and it takes you to Track Wrestling, where you can see who's registered at what weight classes.
Hmm.
Fuji's not quite there yet, but
They need to start using Smooth Comp.
they do. I love Smooth Comp.
I do too. Smooth Comp's the best.
Like Track Wrestling or Smooth Comp, either one, I like it because like I get to see who's like remotely close to my bracket, and like I'm kind of like, even in the last one I did, I was like, oh, there's a brown belt girl, she's 30 pounds heavier than me, but I'm gonna show up and say match us, so like
Right.
for me, like that was really nice to see that if as long as I'm willing, there's somebody there.
Yeah. And that way you
um
just know you're not wasting your time.
yeah,
Like,
because
I hate that.
that's a 3 hour drive for me.
Or, you can see exactly who it is. Like one time that the only other girl registered was someone that I'd already competed against. And
Yeah,
like, I don't mind that when it's like a bigger bracket and you get other matches too. But I'm not gonna drive somewhere to go against someone I already beat.
yeah, I agree with that. I'm not gonna pay $65 to drive 3 hours to compete against somebody I've already beat. So
Right. That's
that's
silly.
I agree with that. But the good thing is if if something were to happen to one of those tournaments, you can always jump on the other one,
Yeah.
because they're well, for me, either way, I'm driving 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty pumped for that. And then I don't see a lot going on, other than Naga was gonna have something like at the beginning of October, but then it's showing that it's on October 31st, which is the same day as Grappling Industries, and that's Halloween. And like people with
Yeah,
kids,
I thought that was kind of weird that so many people were doing the Halloween tournaments.
yeah, I'm not
I'm
a
not
fan.
a fan.
No, same.
Yeah, that's not really what I want to be doing on Halloween, but whatever. Whatever floats your boat. I think I'm gonna try to get on. I'm looking for a match for Zapatero on September 26th. So if you know anybody that wants to compete against me in Florida, in Tampa,
There you go.
then let me
Um,
know.
I I'm like I would love to go to Florida for something like that, or like there's some other places that have contacted me about doing this or that, but they're like in Alabama, and right now, like those there's like 9 states that are still Kentucky travel banned,
Yeah,
and it's like if all I did was train, like I'd be all about it, but because we own the gym and I have like
yeah,
my own athletes, I
risk
can't
it.
really yeah, I can't do that, because like I can't go to Florida and then come back and stay gone not even for 7 days, let alone 14.
Right.
So it kind of sucks. um, but that sounds really exciting.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully I find somebody.
I think you
Because
will. I think
I'm doing IBJJF fucking. Sorry, I said the F word. I'm
that.
doing
Well,
IBJJF
fuck.
pans, and it's in a gi
Hmm.
on the 10th of October in Orlando. So I'm trying to get some, even though it'll be no gi, whatever I do. Just trying to, I don't know, I'm doing gi for fun because that's all they had right now. And my goal for 2020 was to compete in more IBJJF major tournaments.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I told Tim, like, for some of these Fuji's, when he's looking for me a super fight, he has girls that are like, I want gi, and I'm like, I want no gi. However, if they'll take a match with me, if they'll take a no gi match with me first,
it's going to do a gi with them.
I'll do a gi match. Like, I don't train it. I mean, but like almost all no gi people train, or all gi people train in no gi. Like,
Right.
so I personally don't think it should be as big of a deal for them to take it off. But like, all is fair in love and war, so I'm willing to do that. Like, as long as I can get my no gi
So
match
why don't you
first.
go against that girl?
What
She won't
girl?
do it. The one that Tim's looking for a 135 brown belt.
Well, I'm about 150, which I'm going to be dropping still within the next 3 weeks. And I did ask
That's
him,
what I was
like,
saying. It's not going to be that big of a weight difference in a gi.
yeah, like I did kind of say, hey, like, I mean, I know I'm 150 and she's looking for like 135, but like, I mean, I go up in weight against people.
I do too. As a jiu-jitsu trainer, you take what you can get. Like,
Yeah, like especially where it's like we're both brown belt or female brown belt masters, you know. So basically, the only thing that's holding us back is the gi and a little bit of weight difference.
beggars can't be choosers.
But I did ask him about that. I did ask him, but I think that she's like basically like a new brown belt, like brand new.
Oh, so she's
And
scared.
well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
it might not even be her. It might be he's trying to make sure she has a good experience because I can be a little like, but
Word.
I'm like I don't know. I don't know that it's that she's declined. I just like he may just be looking for her to have a better experience, like her first time out as a brown belt. Like I have been a brown belt for a year and a half, and I mean I was a purple belt for like 5 years.
I just had
Um,
my 3-year anniversary of being a blue belt.
Yeah, there you go. So see, you understand what I'm saying. So I could see it being kind of like, maybe not. But
Yeah, for
if it
sure.
were the other way around, I would do it.
So there was a girl. Her name's Hannah Guy. She.
Yes.
So let me tell you what happened to me. So Sam McAlpin, he's super nice, by the way.
Yeah,
He
he's wrote
runs
me.
the yeah. So he's super cool. We've actually fought in the same card before for Hard Rock, and then that's how I met him. But he has his own promotion out. So this weekend, upcoming Saturday, he's doing his own like grappling thing this time.
Right.
And so I was like, oh, cool. Like, I want to do this. Like, I'll have a match. So I asked for a match. Well, this girl, everyone's tagging Hannah. Actually, Gina even tagged Hannah, Gina Gooden.
Right.
She says, yes, okay, I'll do this. Blah, blah, blah. He even puts us on the fight card, tags her. She shares it. And she's like, hey, guys, I'm grappling here. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, bet, I have a match. Let me book my hotel room. So I book a hotel in this, who knows where the fuck I'm going, Alabama. And book my room for Friday and Saturday because it's at like 2 p.m. on Saturday. So I don't want to drive all the way there in the morning. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I'm going to go down there Friday, stay the night, and compete Saturday. Well, then I had no problem paying for my own hotel. Also, I put on matches so I know that you can't pay for everybody's stuff. Like, that's not even a normal thing for grappling. And so whatever. So like last week she writes him and says she wants him to pay for her hotel and travel. She's like, hotel and travel are included, right? And he's like, I mean, this is a jiu-jitsu match, like no. Like this is like kind of a fun type thing. And so he ended up, just to keep the match going, he says, okay, fine, I'll pay for your hotel. And then you can have your ticket sales if they put your name in when they buy your ticket. And I'm
That's
like,
fucking
that's
reasonable.
already better than what I'm getting. I already bought my own hotel. So I didn't get mad though because I still wanted her to do it, right? So
Yeah.
I'm like,
Whatever.
whatever. She's a
Whatever it
purple
takes.
belt. It's good competition for me. That's why I've been doing a lot of no-gis because I can compete up. They'll like let you. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what belt anybody is.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, cool. And she then writes back, no. She still doesn't want to do it. So I don't know what her problem is, but she's the one that fought Gina Gooden, and Gina got her leg cut on the cage. And when she got her leg cut on the cage, it was called a no contest. And she like celebrated like it was a win. And so Gina's wanted a rematch ever since because Gina had to get a lot of stitches on her leg for that.
Yeah.
It was
I
a bad
actually
cut.
I
And
trained with her about 2 weeks after that happened. It was still really bad.
it was really bad. and it wasn't even like it wasn't a cut from Hannah. It was a cut from the cage.
The cage, yeah, I remember
Yeah, it
that.
wasn't from the fight, So Gina was asking for a rematch, and she even offered her a rematch where like it wouldn't go on like the record. It was just like a
Unsanctioned.
fucking rematch, right? And she still said no. She wouldn't go against her. Now I was like, so I guess you just don't want to grapple or do anything, like.
I don't understand that.
And then she wrote me on my tournament page and wanted to be in the bracket. No.
You're a brand new organization. Like you can't be paying for no travel.
I'm definitely not paying for your travel, and I'm definitely not putting your bitch ass on my bracket because you'll back out. So I don't know.
I just don't understand. Like,
What are you scared of? Why wouldn't you do it?
you
Like, if
made a
you
good point.
get to do it,
I
like
mean,
you're a purple belt that has done nothing.
yeah, like it kind of goes back to the point of like we spend just like Naga is like they're everywhere, so it's convenient. They're not, like it's not like when you win at one, it's like anything prestigious at all. It's just like, oh, I won some matches today. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Right.
like you go and win like an IBJJF tournament. Like that's
And you know how much you pay to get in that bitch? $160,
well,
$150.
that's what I was going to say. But even for something like that, you like to do two divisions, which means you might go against the same person in gi and no gi like four
Right.
times.
And
You pay $120, and you probably travel more than 2 hours.
right. People want to shit on the IBJJF and say that it's all about money, blah, blah, blah. But it costs more to do a freaking Naga or a new breed tournament than it does to do an IBJJF.
Yeah,
IBJJF is usually $110.
yeah. I just
And I'm not saying that, like, it's the best tournament in the world, but, like, if I think it's become, like, a little fad to, like, hate the IBJJF. And I get it. They, like, try to take over shit. But
I don't
at
think
the
it's that.
same time, it's just like,
I think
okay,
that
well, they've created an organization that hasn't really been around in jiu-jitsu. Nobody else has done it. If you want to do it better, then do it.
yeah,
But they've created some type of hierarchy because every other sport has that except for jiu-jitsu. We are actually allowed to do jiu-jitsu tournaments right now and not MMA because there's no sanctioning body. Nobody
exactly,
tells us what to do.
exactly.
So they've created their own little thing, and I'm sorry if you don't like it, but you at least know if you go to an IBJJF that you have to get a membership because they make sure that the same people aren't sandbagging all the time. You tell them when you get a new belt. You tell them that you have legitimate coaches. You don't just get some rando off the street coming in and with their own backyard gym. So, like, I mean, I understand people don't like it, but I like the idea of a young athlete or someone trying to come up that I can go win a world title and know that the people that I went against gave me a fight and they were legit grapplers from a legit gym, from schools that are reputable. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, that
I
means
mean,
something to me.
I don't have any problem with that. Matter of fact, like my plan is if if I can and I can get everything in order. Like my plan this year was to try to do Nogi Worlds.
Yeah, it's
Like
awesome. It's a good
like
event.
like that's my plan.
Yeah,
But who knows what's gonna happen? So like for me, like I don't prefer one over the other per se. Like I want to compete in all of them. Like I want to do every
right.
rule set. I want to do ADCC rule set. I want to do the IBJJF rule set. I want to do the EBI rule set. Like I want to do all rule sets. Like I think it goes both ways. Is like people will complain about do like the issue I have is like sometimes I have girls who won't give me a match in Nogi, and I don't get that either. It kind of goes both ways. Like if you want to
Right.
really be like legit, like I think you have to be willing to try all of them. And like,
To do
but
everything.
that's kind
And
of
I
how I've
get it.
approached martial arts as a total. Though, like I've done boxing, I've done Muay Thai kickboxing.
Right.
I've done MMA, I've done jujitsu. Jujitsu just tends to be the one I like the best. But like I've been willing to do bare knuckle boxing. Like even Brandon in our gym has done sand shell. Like to just kind of be complete. I don't understand narrowing your scope. Like I want to do it all.
Me either.
And
And I'm like, recognize that most people that do that shit are just like not usually good at something.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, like
I mean, I'm not saying you got to be the best at everything, but if you are refusing to do something else, like, and shitting on it all the time, it's probably because you can't win.
yeah, I understand that. Like, I think so. I think people just get beefs. You know what I'm saying? It's like there for a while there was this like huge beef of like 10th planet jiu-jitsu. Like, how can you be ranked in jiu-jitsu if you don't wear a gi and wear a belt? And I'm just like, why do we got to be so literal? You know, like people get
Right.
these weird ideas that like they can't let go of like the literal aspect. I don't know, and it gets very narrow. Um, Colored rankings are not something that's like only in jiu-jitsu. Like there's colored rankings in all kinds of things.
Right.
You know, and all the colored belt is a symbol of about what level that you can participate at. Like,
Yeah, it's just a good gauge for you
yeah,
and your competition. And uh, I don't know, like when you walk in a gym and you're gonna roll with somebody new, it's really good to ask them like, where are you at? Because to prevent injury, to prevent anything like that, I mean, it really is an important thing.
I
And
agree with that.
it's the easiest way to gauge that. We all know where there's different spectrums of a blue belt or a purple belt, but you know, if you're a blue belt, if somebody says they're a blue belt, they're at least going to know how to like protect themselves and get out of things, and they're not going to hopefully not let you break their shit. They'll tap early. They know when to tap. Like there's certain things that you can expect from them across the board, whether they're high
Yeah.
level or not.
Like when I walk into a gym and it's new and like I can't really tell, typically I like to ask like, what rank are you? And it's not because it's like, well, it's more along the lines of if somebody tells me they're a white belt, even if I do any leg locks with them, it's straight ankles. Like
Right.
it's not anything that I know they're going to get stubborn to tap to. And if it's a young guy, I can expect that they're going to be like super aggressive. So that prevents me from getting injured. You know, when you start getting
Right.
into some of the upper belts, like we talked about this Saturday at the Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club thing, like Gina was there and we were talking about how the white and blue belt, it is easier to tap them out with a straight ankle lock because of the pain compliance than it is the heel hook because you don't really feel too much pain until it's too late with the
Until
heel
it's
hook.
over.
So it's kind of like a dangerous thing to almost heel hook them because they're almost not mature enough or ready for that because they'll tap to the pain before they'll recognize the pressure that's getting ready to the actual thing that's getting ready to blow their knee out. But
Exactly.
when you get with upper belts, like getting me to tap out to a straight ankle lock is pretty low because
Exactly.
it's primarily pain. A heel hook, that's a lot different. So it's kind of that's probably the best example I have of what the levels bring to your own knowledge, like what you can kind of expect. You know, like there's a
Yeah.
maturity process, and that submission in particular tells you everything you need to know about the maturity process of the belt system.
Yeah, and I would agree that it's like that across the board for the most part, not just one association or another. That's just, you know
No,
what I mean?
I mean for the most part, like I can't really think of like I've been to a lot of different affiliation and association gyms. I've always been welcomed. I've never been turned away. Um, I don't think.
I don't know. That was just funny how you said it.
I'm just trying to think if I have or not. I have been turned away at one gym, but it was local. um, but that was for a whole other reason.
What, Randy
Um,
Diaz?
no, God, no,
I'm kidding.
God.
I'm
Like
kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm
I'm
actually
just
almost
kidding.
to the. I'm actually almost to the point where like I don't want to accept anybody who's trained with him because I'm just like after that little incident of that boy trying to like
Yeah.
he make videos before he had ever even trained with us saying how like we were not a good gym to train at and then he came and had his dad pay for his membership but then like he acted like he got beat up or something because he had to pull out of his fight, which was the real reason that he acted like that. He had to pull out of his fight.
I know about you, Gina.
Well, then what's funny is he went to another gym, and recently he actually got kicked out of there because like I guess he hit hard times and he was like stealing from some of the members.
Oh my god.
So, you know, like that's one of those things where like you get upset sometimes when like people are slanderous or like they make up bullshit or you're just doing the best that you can do. But in the end,
What goes around comes around.
it almost always comes out in the wash. And you got to hope that like if he went and like talked shit, that the people that he ended up robbing can look back and be like, I remember when Gina said that he was full of shit, and now it all makes sense.
Right. Right.
Hey, karma, right? But anyway.
Exactly. It'll always come back around. Just like when Hannah wants to get in my tournament.
Man, we are full of
Just
shit talk
kidding.
today. What the fuck is going
I
on? It's
know.
like
There's a lot of tea being spilled today. But I guess it might be my mood. But, Friday, I'm going to Knoxville to the location where the tournament was. And I'm going to teach a beginner women's jiu-jitsu class.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's a positive.
I'm actually supposed to go to Knoxville Saturday.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
For what?
To train.
Where? Shield Systems?
I don't want to disclose. I'll tell you privately.
Where are you going to Samuel Braga's?
No, I'm just gonna go train down there. Like, I'll write you in a message afterwards and tell you about it. It's just they still have some, I guess, some issues like
Rules. Are
rules
you
and
going to be
stuff.
there in the morning? Maybe I'll go there.
Yeah, I gotta write and confirm, but yeah, it's supposed to be in the morning. So, Adam and I are supposed to go. I'll probably take my son. But we're supposed to go Saturday morning and train, get a little cross training in.
Cool. Because I don't have to be in Alabama till 2, and it's only a 2-hour drive.
Okay, so yeah, if it ended 2 hours later, you would still have 2 hours to get there. But like, yeah, but most places don't go like. Sometimes you go a full 2 hours, but even with an hour and a half and then showering really quickly, you'd have plenty of time to get there.
Cool. Well, send me a message and we'll do that.
I will. I just don't want to be like blasting people's business
don't blast
too much.
anybody here.
That's kind enough to let me train and stuff. But yeah, that's kind of my thing. And then I think on Saturday, the September the 13th, I'm supposed to, like, I don't know, like, I've got to confirm, but I'm supposed to go train with Ava Johnson.
Oh, down in Somerset?
Mm-hmm. We're supposed to cross train with their gym, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Wow, I'd like to come to that too, and I actually don't have anything going on that day.
I'll ask her because, like, I wrote her a message because Gina wanted to go with me too. She's probably behind Hard Rock's wife, one of the most experienced MMA competitors in Kentucky.
What?
Like, she's probably got one of the most, like, in Kentucky, Ava's probably one of the most experienced MMA competitors for females around, other than Hard Rock's wife.
How many fights does she have?
She was like 10-0 as an amateur, and I think she's 1-1 as a pro. She's 2-1 as a pro. Her last, she fought in Invicta. She's a brown belt, but like she was competing in jiu-jitsu.
But she has like 12 fights.
13 or 14.
I think Marissa has more, doesn't she?
Yeah, but Marissa's in Cincinnati.
Oh, I consider it all the same because it's so close.
I'm talking about Kentucky. No, I'm talking about Kentucky specifically, but like she's like I said,
super experienced.
And I don't think that she's rushing it like by most people's standards just based on time alone. She'd be a black belt,
Yeah. I honestly think Kentucky's about to have a lot of female black belts.
I mean, you've got a few coming up.
You've got so many on the brink.
Yeah.
Jesse's got to be getting close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's her. There's
who else? Who did we have on here? That's a brown belt. She trains with E-Town.
Shakia. That's who I was thinking of. No, she got hers. Yeah, actually, she probably is close. She got hers about
like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, probably a year before I did.
Yeah.
but she's had a baby in that time, but she's still trained. But still, I would assume, like, Ava's had 3 babies. So, that can probably put a little bit of a slower timeline in on it. But yeah, I would assume that she's probably getting close to black belt. Jesse's probably getting close to black belt. Um, Trying to think. I thought there was only like one female black belt in at E Town, but I've been like through this whole quarantine, I've gotten nosy and like gotten new friends, and like I think Alan Maganello that owns Louisville.
Boy, that does not count as a black belt if someone there has one. Do not even start.
I think his wife. I think his wife, Leanne Maganello. I'm pretty sure she's a black belt.
Oh, okay.
I think I could be wrong, but like I've looked at pictures of her, and I swear to God, unless I'm crazy, what looks
No,
like
I'm
is
just
around the.
playing. I don't mean it. I'm just saying, like, everybody's standards are different. His gym is just different. Like, it's just different.
Well, the Gracie Association is a little different overall.
Yeah, they don't even really roll.
Well, I mean, and I think it's not even the Gracie Association. I think it's the Pedro Sauer Association. Pedro
No,
Sauer.
no,
Um.
it's not. It's not Pedro
Well,
because Gracie.
Gracie, and it's like Pedro is
Yeah, but
under.
it's not Pedro Sauer's association that's like that. His gym is not the same. Scott Smith, who is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu of Kentucky, where Kelly Patrick and them train, they're a Pedro Sauer affiliate, and they
Yeah.
are not the same. They roll, they do everything normal. That gym is just like most other gyms that you train at. Alan Maganello is not. So the gyms are not the same.
Well, I mean, they're both Gracie of. One's Gracie of Kentucky, one's Gracie of Louisville,
Yeah,
right?
but they're not like they might be both Pedro Sauer schools, but they're not run the same way. Like, I'm not going to say that that's a Pedro Sauer thing, what Alan Magnello is doing, because
Mm.
it's not.
Well, I mean, the Pedro Sauer way, I think, is like you have to have so many techniques and so many hours, and
Oh,
so
yeah.
so like that's what I mean by the Pedro Sauer. Like that's kind of he
Yeah,
has a curriculum and so many hours that you have to train before you
right.
can get your certain belt, and you have to know a certain career. And if that's the way that he found was best for him, and that works for some people, like okay,
More power to him.
like personally,
But
that's primarily because I don't want anybody looking at me and being like, sure, Scott's wife's a brown belt, but have you ever seen her
no,
compete?
I'm
Like,
just saying
like that's my
if she's
personal
a black
preference.
belt, she's a black belt. That's great. But I'm just saying their way of ranking people has proved to be a little different to me.
Yeah, I mean they have competitors sometimes. I don't know. Like I can't. I didn't come up like that, and the way I've come up, I like we've always been a little rougher. Like I said,
A little rougher, Linda will gouge your eyeballs out.
I like like I said, I like competing for a belt because like and showing that like if you doubt it, then you know what the second option is come roll with me. Then like I roll with almost anybody. That's
Right.
just a different mentality. As I'm getting older, though, like that's changing. I'm not as eager to roll with just anybody anymore because like fucking
It
white belts
hurts.
jack my neck up. So
Yeah,
like
I mean it hurts.
I can't I can't say that somebody is or isn't because like who am I to judge? Like if they might not be able to roll at a black belt level or whatever, but maybe they have the information. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just I didn't mean it as negative as it probably came out, but it's just a different type of.
Fortunately, they're in Louisville, and if you don't like that style, you have lots of options.
There's so many
Um,
gyms in Louisville.
but I get what you're saying, and I understand. Like I know that like it's not that it's a negative thing; it's just not for you.
It's just
But
a different mindset of.
there are people who, if it were any other way, they wouldn't last. Like the people
Oh yeah,
that will be very happy training like that would be fucking miserable at my gym. And for
exactly.
me, like I would much rather, like even if it's not the way I like to train, I would much rather them train. And I can't really say because I've never trained at their place, but I would much rather them train like in that kind of style and at least be exposed to jujitsu than doing some, bullshito. But the
Right.
mats don't lie, and once you roll and you put that uniform on and you try to roll, like you can or you can't, and that's the thing about whether you're that the mats don't lie.
Yeah. It'll always
But
come out on
yeah,
there, and
like,
it is what it is.
but I understand what you're saying, and it was not a negative thing. It's just it's not your style at all, and I get that.
No.
That's not my style either, but I understand.
Right. It's just
I
so
understand.
different. I think it's just so different from most of the gyms, these, that are competitive. So, like, most of my friends, even at different associations in different places, it's just a
Well,
different type of jujitsu.
look, the way that Pedigo trains, that's not my style either. Like going hard, like the way that the documentary presents it is that like no matter how injured you are and like you're living like on the mats and you're not really like taking care of some of your injuries and you're fighting every day, like that's not my style either.
No, I'm
Like
too old for that.
when that
And I'm
guy was
not
talking
even that old.
when that guy was talking about how like ice baths and all that stuff is like princess stuff, I'm like, whoa, we're advanced civilization here. Like we know that certain things will heal your body, man. It's fucking science. Like
Right.
that mentality is not for me either because I need recovery.
Exactly.
So, there's me that thinks that I'm kind of hardcore, but then there's people out there that are hardcore that I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I think
I couldn't do that. I
there's
couldn't sleep.
definitely
I couldn't,
levels to this.
yeah, I couldn't sleep on mats like that. And no, I couldn't do that. That's all right though.
Yeah. Different strokes for different folks, right?
Hopefully. Until somebody has to tell you why you're wrong
Right.
without being understanding.
Um, yeah, I think the next couple months is going to be super good for jujitsu and stuff. How was the turnout for the club meeting this
I,
weekend?
about as I expected. It was mostly my girls, and Gina came, and then about 6 people wrote me at the last minute and told me they couldn't come. But it's kind of what I expected. I just want to
The
do
consistency of keeping it going.
like let's do it, and then like who wants to host one in October? Like let's do it. Like I'm gonna come. I'm gonna be there. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna be there. So
Right.
like
We would
Whitney
love
has.
to do one up here in October if you wanted to
uh,
do it, if you wanted to
Let's
come up.
do it. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Wait, no, no. Well, me and Marissa are in the same bracket though, so
Oh, okay. I
I'll
was
come.
like, what? Why'd
Actually,
you say yes and then no?
no, no. I'm kidding. I'll come up there and we can we
I
can
mean, you
definitely,
don't have to roll
yeah.
together
Yeah, like I can do that. I'm not so.
because there's a lot of gyms up here around us too, with a lot of girls. Like JG is up here.
Yeah.
You got Northern Kentucky Martial Arts or whatever. So I think we're in a
Yeah,
good area for.
we could go there. Isn't Carrie there? She could teach at Northern Kentucky Martial Arts. She's purple belt.
Not today, Satan. Do not do that to me
All
right
right,
now.
but we could go to Cincinnati up there, or if your friend down in Knoxville wants to host something,
Oh
down there,
yeah, that would be cool to because that's the actual location of the tournament. So that would be a
and you could teach that one.
fun.
Raise
That'd be fun.
raise you a little funds.
Yeah, I'm so poor from the last one.
Oh, I mean like traveling elsewhere, not for
Yeah.
Artemis.
Well, I do need money for Artemis, but I'm funding it out of my own money right now.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's two options. We'll have to decide where it's going to be.
But that would
I'm
be a
down for
good
either.
idea to do that venue because she just got a ton of new mats.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, that would be
set,
neat. Send me
set it
some
up.
dates that work for you, and then uh I'll let you know.
Sounds good. I suggest nothing like the weekend before Halloween or the weekend of Halloween.
Yeah, I don't know what everybody's deal is with trying to do Halloween stuff, but
I know, like, do you not realize that Halloween is like one of the bigger party and like even for kids?
right.
Like,
Nobody wants to be doing that on Halloween.
I love the fucking holidays. I love Halloween. I love Thanksgiving. I love Christmas. Like, I fucking hate the cold, but I love that time of year.
I do
All right.
too.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else. How about you?
Nope.
All right. So a lot of shit talk today, but that's okay. It's the fucking internet's fault. But
Uh,
um, so a couple things are set though. We got Artemis coming up, Artemis 2. It's going to be November 14th, so that's really exciting. A lot of good competition. Brown and black belt female ladies, and then a purple and blue intermediate division, 135 and under for both. And then we have Bluegrass Women's Jiu-Jitsu Club meeting that will be probably taught by Danny in Knoxville, but maybe taught by Marissa in Cincinnati.
we shall see.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.
Bye.